roll call and verification of quorum, chair's audio.
All right, make sure to speak loud and clear for me. Luke Paul,
Present.
Olivia Smith,
Present.
uh, Angelia Varshis,
Present.
Gabriel Casimiro,
Present.
Samuel Juliqueur, uh, James Kapanos,
Present.
JC Lim,
Present.
Sahasra Sadvika. All right, they sent me a message. Shivi Jain, Owen Sherman,
Present.
Danae Smith,
Present.
Arwa Ali,
Present.
Melva D,
Present.
Jason Hamid,
Present.
Ryan Kaufman,
Present.
Nicholas Lucht,
Present.
Jordan Metellus,
Present.
Kai Prohl,
Present.
Peter Rorkasa,
Present.
Samuel Rose, Grace Rudy, Daisy Trejo Hernandez,
Present.
Mohammed Kidvai, Nathan Rickett.
Present.
All right, I am here. Kushi Chauhan, Rose Rodriguez,
Present.
Ella Weiderberg,
Present.
Corson Green,
Present.
Diana Wynn,
Present.
Anthony Bonaventure,
Present.
Veronica Perez,
Present.
Halima Al-Quda,
Present.
El Banesh,
Present.
Jocelyn Candeloro,
Present.
Kirsten Quartz, you are here. Victoria Jones,
Present.
Angelique Leon,
Here.
alrighty. Isabella McRae, Cameron Renda,
Present.
Alex Rosenblum, okay, you told me how to pronounce your first name, but I completely forgot. I'm so sorry, and I didn't write it down. So Simmons?
Here, it's Mariah.
Mariah, thank you. Okay, I wasn't gonna mispronounce it again.
Oh, you're
Uh,
good.
Mila Teodorescu,
Present.
Juan Varela,
Present.
Julia Zivan,
Present.
Jordan Lipner.
Present, sorry.
Oh, okay. That is 38 out of 56. We're good.
All right, everyone take a look at last meeting's minutes, and is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes?
So moved.
All right, and then everyone take a look at today's agenda. As you can see, a lot of the announcements have been cut out. That's for time reasons. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
So moved.
Okay, open forum. Anybody here to speak for open forum? Chair Roy?
I just want to say present and voting.
Okay, Chair Roy, present voting. So noted at 6:05 p.m. Open forum, seeing none. Announcements from the student body president, President Blanco.
Hi, everyone. Super quick from me. I don't have anything lengthy. I'll give my full weekly report on Thursday, but I just wanted to say thank you to Speaker Courts, Senate leadership, and all of you senators for taking time on your Wednesday, oh my goodness, on your Monday evening to see the rest of these confirmations. So a big thank you, and I appreciate you all, and the best of luck. So thank you. If you need anything between now and Thursday, feel free to reach out.
Any questions for the student body president? Seeing none. Announcements from the interim Chief Justice Pizarro.
Hello, Senate. So we are having the justice appointees going through confirmation this week, and I do have a quick note about that. I would like to take a moment to clarify an important point that some may not be aware of. The services provided by the Judicial Council, specifically those related to student conduct and academic integrity hearings and advisings, as well as grade appeals, are subject to strict privacy regulations under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, otherwise known as FERPA. As such, justices are not permitted to receive training or participate in these services until they have been officially confirmed and subsequently trained by the SCI administrators. With the upcoming confirmations of associate justices, I want to ensure everyone understands this protocol. While the appointees have been thoroughly briefed on the external aspects of both processes, they have not yet had the opportunity to observe or participate in actual advising sessions. I hope this provides some clarity regarding our procedures and the safeguards in place. And then lastly, best of luck to all confirmations today. That's it for me.
All right, any questions for the interim Chief Justice, Senator Lipner?
Yeah, while we're on the topic, could you elaborate a little bit more on your process or your committee's process on choosing these appointees?
Yes, of course. So do you mean in terms of how the appointees get appointed?
Yeah, just walk us through the whole timeline if that's okay.
Of course, yes. So traditionally and obviously statutorily, it is so that the president appoints all the justices. Again, traditionally, it has been that the interim chief justice conducts these interviews, obviously having an executive, either a representative, or this year it was President Blanco that sat in on all of these meetings and conducted them with me, as well as some of the senior returning justices. And then once we interviewed everyone, it was a decision made by President Blanco and myself.
Thank you so much.
All right, any other questions for interim Chief Justice Pizarro? Seeing none, announcements from the Senate President. Hello, everyone. Let's all be as quick and efficient as possible. I'm gonna up the limit from 2 questions per person to 3, but I'm gonna be strict with that. If you have a 4th question, unfortunately, it probably won't get asked. There were many bills that were enacted today, and a lot of them alter our current practices, especially for the fiscal committees. So make sure that all of you, especially the branch heads and committee chairs, are doing your due diligence and seeing what they mean for your branch and committee. We'll begin the judicial confirmations this Thursday, as the interim Chief Justice said. So please make sure you read over Title V and the JRP. Both of those are on the SG website in preparation for that. And then the last thing, me and Pro Tem Hamid have our introduction meeting with the UCFPD Chief Carl Metzger this Thursday. Besides that, nothing else that needs to be said now. As I already said, I cut out most of the announcements and notice of legislation. With luck, we'll be out of here quickly. Are there any questions for me? Okay, seeing none. Internal legislative assistance report. None, I believe. Yeah. External legislative assistance report. None. Senate President Pro Tempore report. Pro Tem Hamid.
Hi, everyone. I hope we're all having a great night. So, non-compliances for financial training have been sent out. So they have been sent to your Senate and personal emails. I sent the link to sign up for the financial training in the email. So please, as soon as possible, send me proof that you've completed all the modules. You also have to make sure that you passed all the modules. So if you didn't pass a module, then it doesn't count. And I believe the passing score is an 80. So just make sure you get above that. Also, please sign up for orientation. I'm giving you guys until Thursday to contact me before issuing a non-compliance. So if you guys attended one day, you have the option to not attend an orientation, but you just have to email me and tell me that, or else I don't know. And if you want to submit legislation to be remanded, please email it to me and the DLEG through email. That's all.
All right, any questions for the Pro Tempore? Senator Ganesh?
Do we have to do the ethics training if we did it last year?
No. If you do the ethics training once, you don't have to do it ever again.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the Pro Tempore? Seeing none, Deputy Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs, Ryan Cassidy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for confirming me last Thursday. I met with Senate fiscal leadership earlier today to discuss the upcoming fiscal year and updated the fiscal bill forms to match the newly enacted internal bills that we saw this morning. I'm happy to announce that all of our funding forms are officially open for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. And as Pro Tem Hamid mentioned, please submit any legislation to be remanded by emailing both him and me. And if you're wondering how to get started with writing legislation or have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Any questions for the DLEG? Chair Barola.
Yes, real quickly. Is the finance chairs and the DLEG going to implement like kind of quarterly limits to spending so we can like not like we can stretch it out, or we kind of do what we did, or we're going to do what we did last year? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so as far as I know for FAO, we already kind of decided on our quarterly budget. I can assume that CRT did the same. I can check with, you could ask Chair Sherman about that. But we are going to try to stick to those quarterly budgets this year.
Okay. I think Chair Sherman is here, so if you wanted to add on to that, you can.
Yeah, we did the same as FAO.
All right, any other questions for the DLEG? Seeing none, Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, James Capino.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say how excited I am to be your new Deezer for the 57th session, and that I'm humbled to be here and confirmed last Thursday. I will be sending out forms concerning the RSOs that everyone would be representing. Those will be forms for what RSOs you want to represent. Hopefully work on those and send those either tomorrow or later in the week. And then I'm also going to send out forms to events that you guys would like to see within the summer session to get your ideas, and then also give you mine, and so that we can set up dates and times for that. But also, if you have any concerns about how to connect with your RSOs or anything like that, my email is always open.
All right, any questions for the DSER? Seeing none, old business none, confirmations. Is there a motion for specious questioning and debate? Chair Hernandez.
And I motion for a 5:15.5.
There's been a motion for a 5:15.5. Any objections? Seeing none, up first, we have Gabriella Parra for Digital Media Coordinator. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Perfect. Good afternoon, Senate. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to speak with you all today. My name is Gabriella Parra. I'm a proud South Floridian from Western Florida, and I'm honored to have been appointed as the Digital Media Coordinator for the upcoming school year under the Blancos Benitez administration. I'm a rising sophomore majoring in media production and management on the sports track and a minor in event management. The media has always been a central part of my life. Due to my family being a part of the Latin American television industry and growing up around sets with cameras, producers, directors, talent, and even an audience, made me develop a deeper appreciation for storytelling and behind-the-scenes production. This early exposure inspired me to pursue content creation professionally and has shaped the path that I'm on today. In high school, I joined the TV production program at my school, where I was able to create weekly news packages and competed in many national competitions, with one of our projects even receiving an Emmy nomination. That experience helped me build technical skills in editing, camera operation, lighting, and sound, while also learning how to meet with collaborative and a diverse team, and learning how to meet tight deadlines. I also served as the Director of Communications for our Interior Design Club and our Marketing Manager for our Latinos in Action Club, where I was able to manage communication and create engaging social media content to keep our members not only informed, but also involved. When I arrived at UCF, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay involved in my community. Joining the Student Government Leadership Council allowed me to do just that. I was elected as the External Vice Chair for the SGLC Marketing Committee, where I created visual content, took event photos, and helped coordinate communication efforts. Later, I joined the Executive Leadership Council, where I deepened my understanding of the executive branch operates and student government functions as a whole. Based on these experiences, I've developed several initiatives that I will believe will enhance outreach and student engagement. One is to ensure that students without social media will still be receiving important updates, either through a dedicated section on MyUCF, where we could give weekly basis on events SG will be holding. I also plan to use Instagram Live during these events to give students real-time access to what's happening on campus and encourage participation. Another plan I hope to pursue once appointed is to be able to create hype videos for recurring events that will be happening throughout the year. I believe that having this visual representation with captions will boost students' bodies and attendance and also create an understanding of our missions and goals. If confirmed, I would be committed to highlighting all the branches of student government through consistent, high-quality content and establishing monthly check-ins with each branch to align media goals and maintain communication. I also plan to be the right-hand man of our Director of Communications and Graphic Design Coordinator to make sure that the division can be the best of its ability and meet our expectations. Radio production and photography are more than just passions for me. They're the foundations of my career and the lens through which I hope to tell meaningful stories. With the skills I've developed, the leadership I've demonstrated, and a deep commitment to elevating student voices, I'm ready to serve as a dynamic and driven digital media coordinator. I'm not just here to create content, but to build connection, boost visibility, and showcase the incredible impact our organization has to offer for our campus life. I look forward to the opportunity to turn that vision into reality. Thank you so much for having me today, and I now yield my time for questions.
Okay, we are now in a period of questioning. You guys have 15 minutes. Senator Rickett?
Madam Speaker, may I ask two questions, please, for the candidate?
You may.
Okay, first question for the candidate. Obviously, you'll be working with a lot of technology and social media. My first question is, here's a scenario. What happens if someone were to gain access to, let's say, the social media page and were to post something inappropriate? What are your plans in order to go forward with that?
Thank you, Senator, so much for that question. So I believe meeting with the Division of Communication and really seeing what happened wrong in this scenario, how did they get access to this information or this platform, and first and foremost, take whatever they posted down and give a communication out to our student body that that was in fact not us in that sense, and that this will be taken into further action and there will be consequences to the action that was taken if it was in an appropriate way.
Okay, and my second question is, in your own words, what is your definition of slander and libel?
Thank you so much for that follow-up question. In my own terms, slander, I believe, is when things are taken in the wrong way, or like using words in the wrong way. And then I'm so sorry, you cut it out then. Can you say the second word that you?
The second term, in your own words, what is your definition of libel?
Liable. Okay. Thank you so much. My definition of liable is when someone has to take accountability for something. You are liable for anything that you partake in and that you may be responsible for.
Okay, are there any other questions for the candidate? If not, is there a motion? Senator Rickett, your hand is still raised.
So
Trevor
to
Noah?
anybody, if anybody used the link that Nathan put in the group chat, your name is Nathan Rickett. So please change that, correct that, and then we'll go forward.
Oh, okay, so that's what it. Gordy, should we wait until they change that or just move on to debate?
I think just keep going.
Okay, Trevor Hernandez.
Move to debate.
There's a motion, move to debate. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. You guys have 5 minutes. Senator Perez.
I will be voting in favor of this candidate. I got to work with her during SGLC in the marketing committee. She was a great vice chair. She was always there making sure everyone knew what they were doing, bringing new ideas. And even now, just looking at her proposal, I can see that she's very experienced, very qualified. So I will be voting in favor.
Okay, I'll go Senator Jones and then Senator Metellus.
I will also be voting in favor of this candidate. I had the honor of serving in the same SGLC class as her, as well as the marketing committee. She was one of our vice chairs and was always recording and editing videos for the committee. I think she's a great leader. She would always do anything involved with digital media. She clearly shows passion for the position, and I think that with her extensive experience that she's perfect for this role. Thank you.
Senator McCullough?
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures. Okay, with a vote count of 36 to 1 Gabriella Parra has been confirmed as digital media coordinator. Okay, Senator Chauhan.
Present and voting.
Okay, Senator Chauhan, present and voting, so noted at 6:22 p.m. Next, we have Shivani Bhattaria for academic affairs coordinator. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Awesome. Before we start, my name comes up as Nathan Rickett. I'm not sure how to fix that. My apologies, but my name is Shivani Bhattaria. Okay, great. So good evening, senators. My name is Shivani, and I'm incredibly honored to be standing before you as the appointee for Academic Affairs Coordinator. I'm a transfer student here at UCF, double majoring in political science and industrial organizational psychology, with aspirations of pursuing a legal career focused on education reformation. At the heart of everything I do, both in and out of the classroom, is a deep and enduring passion for education. For me, education is more than a stepping stone. It's a powerful tool for equity, growth, and transformation. It's the reason I want to pursue law, not only to understand the structures that shape our education system, but to help reform them in ways that ensure every student, regardless of background, has access to meaningful learning opportunities. That passion is what ultimately led me to applying to the role of Academic Affairs Coordinator. I see this position as an opportunity to help students unlock their academic and professional potential and to help bridge the gap between institutional resources and individual needs. I've had the privilege of supporting students directly as a writing consultant at UCF's very own Writing Center, where I meet one-on-one with peers navigating everything from freshman composition to graduate level research. These conversations go far beyond grammar and structure. They're about confidence, clarity, and connection. Through this role, I've gained an internal perspective on what students truly need to succeed and how we, as academic leaders, can better advocate for them. My work is backed by ongoing semester-long training that has sharpened my ability to communicate across learning styles and academic disciplines. In addition to my campus role, I founded Scripted Futures Foundation, a literacy initiative committed to expanding access to books and educational materials in underserved communities. Leading this nonprofit has taught me that sustainable change doesn't necessarily come from one person. It comes from a team who share a vision and are willing to work together to achieve it. My leadership journey at UCF began with the Student Government Leadership Council, where I gained firsthand insight into how student government operates and the kind of discipline, organization, and communication it demands. That experience led me to the Executive Leadership Council, where I've had the opportunity to shadow and learn from some of UCF's most dedicated and inspiring leaders. These roles taught me how to lead with humility, work across diverse teams, and uphold the values of student representation with integrity. My skills in communication, collaboration, and outreach have led me to proactively dream up this initiative for TEDx Nights. I'm committed to ensuring that student voices from all UCF colleges are meaningfully represented. By working with the Diversity and Inclusion Coordinator, I'll help implement an inclusive panel selection process that highlights diverse perspectives across disciplines and backgrounds. Through outreach to RSOs, college leadership, and student networks, I'll create accessible opportunities for students to share their stories. Joining UCF as a transfer student, I know firsthand how important it is to feel supported, academically, socially, and emotionally. That perspective continues to shape how I engage with my peers and why I'm so committed to making academic resources more accessible and effective for every student on this campus. As your appointed academic affairs coordinator, I will work to strengthen our academic community, listen to the concerns of our student body with reliability, transparency, and heart. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. I now yield my time for further questioning or comments.
Okay, we're on creative questioning. Are there any questions for Rickett and then Trejo Hernandez?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I pose 2 questions to the candidate?
You may.
Okay, my first question to the candidate is, I'm actually a senator from the College of Graduate Studies. What are some of the initiatives that you plan and implement in helping and or furthering the education for the graduate students?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. A huge part of being the academic affairs coordinator is catering to every single type of student on this campus, whether it's undergraduate students or graduate students. And so I think that honestly, any initiative that I have with my proposal and any future endeavors that I plan to execute during my term will also apply to graduate students. I think that it's pertinent for me as academic affairs coordinator to kind of showcase every single opportunity that this campus has to offer, and make sure that students understand that this is not exclusive to just undergrad students. This is for all kinds of students, graduate studies, undergrad studies, no matter what college you're in.
Okay, and my follow-up question, I'm actually pursuing my master's in hospitality management and tourism. Given that there's renovations and upgrading going on to the Rosen campus, what are some of the initiatives or what are some of your plans in order to combat that? Because many students have to go to and fro and obviously can't attend classes at the Rosen College.
I'm sorry, Senator, can you repeat your question, please?
Let me rephrase. The Rosen College of Hospitality Management is actually going through renovations at their main building at their campus. What are some of your initiatives and plans in order to help students get all the academic, resources that they need?
Thank you for that question. So I think it's very important to kind of inform students that there is space for you no matter where where your college is or the type of auxiliary campus that you attend. For example, during the previous term, the previous academic affairs coordinator took part in showing these videos on social media to different spaces where students can kind of study and take up space and use to kind of get their academics in line. For example, I understand that the library is currently going through renovations, and so that takes out a huge chunk of space where students can kind of study and get with their friends and really get their homework done. So kind of taking that same approach and showing it to other students, for example, on the Rosen campus, and kind of applying that same concept to them. I think it'll be really beneficial to showcase the different kinds of spaces we have available for UCF students.
Okay, Trejo Hernandez, did you have a question?
Yes. Possibly follow up. Can you expand more on your increased student government printing funds and why you selected this September 10th deadline, and how would this more of this be implemented?
I'm sorry, Senator, you cut out. Can you please repeat your question?
Can you expand more on your increasing the student government printing funds for the printing, and how you plan on implementing that?
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. So increasing SG printing funds is actually an initiative made by the Blanco and Benitez campaign. And that initiative fell under the academic affairs aspect of their campaign. So with any leftover funds that I may have or anything that I can do with my ability in my capability as the academic affairs coordinator, I will be more than happy to kind of provide insight and just more information from my behalf to combat that. Just to be clear, that is an initiative that I wasn't made directly from me. It was from Blanco and Benitez administration, but that is how I, as academic affairs coordinator, will supply my insights to that.
Right, are there any other questions for this candidate? Not. Okay, Kapanen.
Hi, thank you for being with us today. I just had a quick question about your initiative, 50 orgs in 50 days. I think it's a great idea to give RSOs representation and hear their voices. I see you have a list of RSOs here that you plan to meet with. At the end, you have et cetera. And I was just wondering what your process would be going through filtering out the RSOs. I know that there's a lot of them on campus, and I think there's more than 50. So I was just wondering what your process is going to be to filter out the RSOs that you're going to be meeting with on a bi-weekly basis.
Absolutely, Senator. Thank you for your question. So again, 50 orgs in 50 days is an initiative made by the Blanco and Benitez campaign. And as a coordinator on their team, hopefully if confirmed, of course, my job is to aid them in any way possible. I picked that initiative so I can kind of say, hey, I'm here to help you in any capacity. But as your academic affairs coordinator, I'll help you pick the RSOs that kind of focus and cater on academic opportunities here at UCF. So of course, with 70,000 students, there are tons of clubs that cater to all kinds of interests and fun hobbies and activities. So, for me to filter through all of those, I wanted to say, hey, with academic interests in line, I can kind of help you filter out and take some, weight off your plate with that.
Hamid,
Move to debate.
there's been a motion to move to debate. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. You guys have 5 minutes. Senator Jones and then Bisa Kapanen.
Okay, I will be voting in favor of this candidate. I work with them in SGLC and as well as the marketing committee. I think that she has a strong and thoughtful proposal and has valuable insight into the role from her experience as a writing consultant. I believe she is the best person for this role to improve academic resources for all UCF students and on all campuses. I recommend that you guys do the same.
Okay, so Kapanen.
I will also be voting in favor of this candidate. I've also had the pleasure to work alongside her in her SGLC class, and it was just clear from the get-go that she was a dedicated student and that she wants nothing more but for the betterment of this university. I love her proposal. I see that she has a lot of initiatives. I know that her values also correspond, I think, with SG's and with the current administrations. And I think that she's going to do a great job. And just seeing her experience and her background, I think that she is an amazing candidate for this, the best fit. And I hope that all of you vote in favor as well.
Senator McCollum.
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to move the vote. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting. We are now in voting procedure. Okay, with a vote count of 36-0, Shivani Zakaria has been confirmed as Academic Affairs Coordinator. Next, we have Noor Alaraj for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hi, can everyone hear me well? Okay. I'm gonna be reading it off of my iPad, so if you see me looking here at my iPad. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time this evening, and I'm excited to be sitting here in front of you today. My name is Noor Alaraj, or Noor Al-Araj. I'm a rising senior in health sciences on the pre-med track, and I'm the appointed Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator. As an Arab American of 2 immigrant parents, a visibly Muslim woman, and the middle child of 6, I've spent much of my life searching for a sense of belonging. Growing up, I moved across 3 different countries. At 16, I began living with my older siblings, which meant navigating life largely on my own. It was scary, overwhelming, and at times deeply isolating. I've been in rooms where I was the only one who looked like me, where my name felt unfamiliar, where I felt the need to constantly explain who I was, what I wore, and what I believed. But those experiences shaped me. They taught me resilience and they inspired me to create the kind of spaces I once longed for. Spaces where no one feels like they need to shrink themselves to fit in. Spaces where being different isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. When I came to UCF, I felt hopeful. I saw a community that made change feel possible. I joined the Muslim Student Association and served for 2 years. First as a committee member, engaging with students from all backgrounds and tabling events, and later as a treasurer where I gained firsthand experience with student government. Even within MSA, I met people with a range of cultures and beliefs. That experience sparked a deeper interest in building community beyond just religion or culture. So I joined COURT, Knights of the Round Table, where I worked one-on-one with students looking to get involved or start new RSOs. I learned that even with over 620 RSOs on campus, many students felt like they didn't belong or didn't even know these places existed. While I was working as a NightQuest consultant, I also had the chance to intern with the Biomedical College at UCF in collaboration with Advent Health. On paper, it was about learning surgical techniques and exploring anatomy. But what really stuck with me was the human side of medicine. I learned how important it is to truly listen to patients, to understand where they're coming from, and to meet them with empathy. That experience helped shape the kind of physician I hope to become, someone who sees the whole person, not just the illness. And I think that mindset would translate perfectly with the role of a DEI coordinator. It's about making sure everyone feels heard, valued, and supported no matter their background. If selected, I'd bring my empathy, open-mindedness, and a genuine desire to learn and uplift others to everything I do. That's what drives me, and that's why I care so deeply about this work. I want to bridge the gap, not just between people and organizations, but between students and their sense of belonging. Everyone deserves to feel like UCF is their home, like they matter, like their presence makes a difference. Aside from continuing what the previous DEI coordinators have worked on, like Culture Fusion Fest, Women's Empowerment Conference, and SG Caucus Takeover, if confirmed, these are some things I would like to do. 1. Collaborate with Creative School for Children. It's important to recognize at UCF being both a student and a parent is not only acknowledged but deeply respected. By supporting spaces like Creative School for Children, we help parents feel seen in every part of their identity. And when people are fully seen, they're empowered to thrive. 2. Say My Name is an event that talks about an identity. Names are powerful. They carry history, culture, and identity, yet many are changed or shortened for convenience. Say My Name is about reclaiming that space, sharing the meaning, pronunciation, and even phrases that make sense in one's culture but can't be translated in English. It's a step towards deeper respect and understanding. 3. Art has the ability to express what words often fail to capture. Through intersectional art, UCF students can explore layered identities, race, gender, class, ability, and create spaces for stories that are often unheard. It's not just expression, it's evidence of lived experience and a call for empathy. And I'll continue to do everything I can to help build a campus community where no one feels like they are too much or not enough, a place where every voice is heard and every identity is honored. Thank you for listening. I now yield my time.
Okay, we are now in here with 15 minutes of questioning. Senator Rickett.
2 questions, Madam Speaker, if I may.
You may.
Okay. To the candidate, how do you plan on getting more of our graduate students involved in student government?
Thank you so much for this question. I think as a equity and inclusion coordinator, if confirmed, it's my role to cater to every single individual. And I think the first most important thing is marketing. I think marketing is really important when it comes to spreading the word of diversity, of that you are included in this space. Making sure that it also aligns with their schedule. For example, making sure that we also get people on, for example, the cabinet, the Senate, judicial branch, diversifying it and getting more people from graduate college and marketing that and making sure they're also included in that place and catering it towards what they feel is better for them. Or like, for example, if the graduate students feel more comfortable at this time because I know it's probably be busier. They do more research, so accommodating towards their needs as well.
Thank you. And here's my second question. Recently, the federal government, the new presidential administration, they put out a number of policies and procedures that disallows many trans students from actually entering the military. What are some of your plans and initiatives for many of the students that plan on joining the military right out of college or in ROTC here at UCF?
I think the most important thing is to know that student government is funded by the students. So no matter what's happening, anything related to student government is always funded by the students. So the only thing that I would have to do if confirmed is to make sure each person feels heard and safe, making sure they have the right resources, but we cannot do anything other than making sure that these students feel safe, because at the end of the day, student government is funded by the students, and we can't not tell people what to do or what to can't, because they're eventually it's paid by the students.
Okay, Senator Rescue, and then Senator Whitmer.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I just had a question about your identity and mental health forums. I see in your proposal, it says it's geared toward first and second year students. I'm just wondering if you would be like why you chose first and second year students specifically, and why it wasn't open to like all students and like also graduate students.
Thank you so much, Senator, for this question. I think for the reason I picked first and second specifically is not to just only include only these people, but just to cater more towards these people. A lot of times these people come from different states, different countries. They can be international. They can be from everywhere, especially first year and second year. And I think it's very difficult for students or just individuals, humans, getting to go on campus. You know, a lot of people might move out from their parents' house. So it's a totally different environment from high school. So I know that I did mention first and second, but it's always open. Any events that are going to be done are always open to everyone, but just maybe marketing towards the first and the second year, only because they have huge changes happening in their lives. Like, as I said, for example, they're moving out, they're coming from a different state. They just finished high school and they don't know how to deal with UCF, because UCF is a huge, large campus. And I think the most important thing for them to first realize that their mental health is really important, and they can struggle with that with telling their parents, because they don't know, like, you don't know if they're on a scholarship, they're waiting on their parents. Their parents pay for their college tuition. You don't know what burdens they're already going through. So making sure their mental health is in a stable, in a good place for them to learn, because at the end of the day, we're all students. Students comes first, and making sure their mental health is well enough for them to go out in college and have a good college experience as students. So that's why I catered it towards first and second, only because they have huge changes happening in their lives. But it's obviously welcome to everyone who wants to, learn more about mental health. I do have another one, just more for a cultural, but at the end of the day, mental health is important for everyone, not just only these specific people, but catering it towards these people is important, because these are like the new fresh start that are just going to continue their legacy at UCF.
Okay, Senator Whitmer.
Two, if I may, please, Chair.
You may.
Thank you. First off, could you please explain what intersectionality means in your own words and how you expect to support that in our campus?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. I've been waiting for this question. So intersectional art or intersectionality is when someone has different race, different culture background, different social status, different sexual identity, anything of several things. So for instance, I could be Arab and maybe white, just different races, different culture background, different sexuality. This is what intersectional mean. People who kind of struggle with a lot of things that are not seen as, that are seen as minorities. And then how I want to relate it to art. The way I came up with the art idea of art, of intersectional art, is first of all, it was because one person from it's a long story. A long story short, I had a one-on-one consultation with a student who was trying to open an RSO only for art education, and she was talking about the struggles of being an art education major and how it was hard for her to be under College of Arts and Humanities and also under the Community Innovation College. And she was talking about how like there's not a lot of not not a lot of people who talk about art in general and art education. And then at the same time, I was actually taking a history class, and they were talking about one of the political cartoonists back in the 1800s. His name was Thomas Nest, I think, and he was talking about how he conveys political issues in art. And I think I was able to combine both of these of like not a lot of art students are feel like they're heard, and about how like Thomas Ness was able to take political stance in cartoonist ways of combining intersectional art with students who are in art education, whoever wants, honestly. But it was the idea came up from the person who felt like art students are not really heard, and just convey what it feels to be an intersectional person of, for example, of different colors, cultures, and all that, and portray in art to convey a specific idea that person specifically wants to share with the world.
Thank you so much for that thoughtful answer. Second question for you. I noticed a lack of representation for queer or gender nonconforming communities within your proposal. Do you have any ideas on how you want to support those communities, especially in the current political chaos that is currently going on, and especially concerning the fact that we are student funded and not using government funds? Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Senator. I think the most important thing for me is that on my initiative proposal, you are right. I did mention MSC and Ginsburg Center. I do know they have to cater a lot of things to their queer community. Like, for instance, the Ginsburg Center, they have the Lavender Council. It's at it's at TC. It's next to SB building. I'm sorry, I like forgot what it is. That area in front of MSB, they do have a Lavender Council over there, and they cater a lot of their events towards LGBT plus community. And I think what I wanted to do first is reach out to them and see what they're already working on, because I don't want to repeat any of like initiatives that they have. I want to make sure I support them. So going to MSC, reaching out to them, Ginsburg Center, reaching out to them and making sure if they need any help, knowing that I'm a resource for them, and also talking to the LGBTQ plus caucus. I know they all oversee a lot of students as well, and seeing what initiative that they feel like is still needed. Because for me, honestly, I have not got a lot of experience from them, and I don't want to just say any initiative that might have been done before or does not cater towards them specifically. So talking to them, obviously, if confirmed, reaching out to them, reaching out to RSOs, because I know a lot of RSOs as well, like Color Me Queer. There's a lot of RSOs as well that are also talking about the queer community. So I think it's important for me to reach out to them specifically and ask what initiatives they would like, just to make sure I cater it towards them and not just get initiatives that I think might be suitable, but they've already been done or they don't really fit towards that community.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, we are now in a period of debate. You have 5 minutes. I'll go Kapanos and then Lipner and then Alcuda.
I think that this candidate is extremely qualified. I just want to say that I'll be voting in favor. I'm in love with all of the proposals that I see here, all of the ideas and the initiatives, especially ones where she plans on translating the languages on the UCF website into multiple languages. I can't believe that's something that we haven't done yet. So props to her for understanding that and seeing that and fixing it. I think a lot of these things are outside of the box, and I think that's what we need for this candidate. So I'm going to be voting in favor, and I urge everyone else to do the same. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Lipner.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo everything that Senator Deeser Kapanos just said. Got to get used to that new title. But yeah, this candidate is wonderful. I think her answers have been extremely thoughtful, well poised, and shows that she has been thinking about her community of Knights for a very long time. And so I'm very excited to see what she does. I urge you all to vote in favor. Thank you.
All right, and then Senator Alcuda.
I will also be speaking highly in favor of this candidate. I generally cannot imagine a better individual for this role. Actually, in drafting the legislation to create the Arab Caucus, Noor was one of the individuals that I had the pleasure to be connected to as she was working the front desk of the SG office, and she helped me get connected to the community in an effort to improve inclusivity on this campus. From that moment, I could tell that she leads with her heart, and I'm genuinely so proud of how far she's come. I could also tell that her main drive is to just be a source of light and positivity. And not only that, but also a source of change on this campus. Not only is she highly qualified, but her proposal reaffirms what is evident to all who have had the privilege to know her. Again, I will be voting easily in favor of this candidate, and I highly encourage you all to do the same.
All right, with 3 in acclamation, are there any indication? Okay, seeing none, Chair Hernandez.
To vote.
There's been a motion. Any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. Okay, with a vote count of 38 to 1, Noor Alaraj has been confirmed as Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Next, we have Ava Hendricks for Sustainability, Wellness, and Innovation Coordinator. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
I was just wondering if everyone can hear me all right. Perfect. Hello and good evening, Senate. I'd like to begin by thanking you all for your time and introduce myself. My name is Ava Hendricks. I'm a rising senior studying geoscience and geographic information systems. I'm from Venice, Florida, which just so happens to be the shark tooth capital of the world. And please do not ask me how they measured that because I am not sure. When I first told my parents that I wanted to dedicate the rest of my life to environmental stewardship, I don't know if they entirely believed me at first. That was until they were helping me pack my car to move across the country for 3 months and serve alongside the United States Forest Service, living in a tent while rebuilding 600 miles of historic scenic trail along the Continental Divide in Colorado. It was during my service in the Southwest branch of the Conservation Corps that I learned the intrinsic value of environmental sustainability and gained an unbeatable work ethic, working in the field day in and out, miles from civilization, and immersed in our country's natural beauty. I summited mountains, crossed rivers, and ate so many cans of baked beans, all while gaining invaluable knowledge in invasive management, wildlife ecology, and a plethora of certifications in everything from wilderness first aid to chainsaw felling. Not only did I gain knowledge that will carry me into a lifelong career in environmental stewardship, but also practical skills such as the value of teamwork and my own personal leadership style, which I first developed in SGLC and ELC as a freshman. I knew that this kind of grueling work was not for everyone, and that's exactly why it excited me. What I was more excited about was the privilege to bring these skills to my beloved campus back home at the UCF Arboretum. For the last 3 semesters, I believe I have bolstered myself as a keystone member of our land management team. Our team of 8 students are the sole governing body of the 850 acres of natural land on the UCF campus. The UCF Arboretum has truly become my refuge as well as my workspace as I complete daily monitoring and maintenance and share this information through guided tours to our student body as well as the greater Orlando community. Beyond that, I founded and act as the president of the Knights Paleontological Society, as well as the treasurer for the Herpetological Society, which this previous spring semester earned an impact award for our sustainability efforts. What I am most proud of, however, would be my recent acceptance into the UDI Lab, a group of undergraduate researchers studying the effects of urbanization, disease, and invasives on native lizards, snakes, and amphibians. My sustained involvement and close relationship with the natural resource team on campus provides me with a unique perspective on my initiatives, mainly my e-waste collection bins. As a campus on the cutting edge of engineering, we produce a significant amount of electronic waste, which has a devastating effect when disposed of improperly. Disposable batteries combust in transit to landfills and leach chemicals like lead and mercury when deposited into the earth. Coincidentally, as I was drafting my initial proposal, an Orange County garbage truck caught fire due to combustion of improperly disposed batteries. I would like to not only educate students on the dangers of e-waste, but also provide a marked collection bin to streamline UCF environmental health and safety's job of collecting electronic waste to properly dispose. Currently, EHS's collection system is appointment-based, and I believe that a marked bin located in the Student Union and Engineering Center, marked for batteries, printer toner, and even old cell phones, would provide a centralized drop-off and collection space. As someone pursuing a career in land management, I'm all about setting achievable goals for myself if appointed to this position. 3 goals I will hold myself to for the duration of the year are the removal of at least 5 of our most invasive plant species on campus, massively crack down on the use of plastic confetti in our wetlands, and renew interest and passion in the UCF prescribed burn team. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions the Senate may have regarding these 3 goals. I will take any chance I get to talk about the necessity of prescribed burns within our natural lands. As someone who works 3 invasive removal species shifts a week through my Arboretum internship, I can confidently say that through proper allocation of volunteer shifts open to the student body, I will see the complete removal of these invasive plants by the end of my term. I would work feverishly to expand the EcoFetti program, making it more accessible through on-site pickup stations, but also by posting increased signage and even an art installation using recycled confetti collected from the Cypress Dome. A fundamental edict in sustainability, wellness, and innovation is collaboration. If confirmed, I intend to work hand in hand with the Sustainability Caucus to truly bolster UCF as a campus which considers our environmental impact before anything else. I would work with our safety and transportation coordinator to revamp the Pegasus Express, our intra-campus shuttle, to reduce on-campus traffic and gas consumption, sidewalk bike lanes, as well as provide midday programming more accessible to commuter students. Finally, I would work with our diversity, equity, and inclusion coordinator to further the importance of wellness to marginalized communities that may have disproportionate access to life-saving therapeutic treatment through CAPS. With access to some of the most beautiful living laboratory and green space in the country, I hope to see our campus rise to be a leader in sustainability, fostering an air of connectivity between our massive and diverse student population with my confirmation as Sustainability and Innovation Coordinator. Thank you, and I yield my time for questions.
Okay, we are now in period of questioning. You have 15 minutes. Senator Rickett,
2 questions, if I may, Madam Speaker.
you may.
Okay, my first question to the candidate is, what are some of your favorited national parks or state parks located near the UCF area?
Thank you for your question. As far as national parks go, Dry Tortuga is a hard one to beat. That's south near the Florida Keys. While we don't have a lot of national parks besides Dry Tortugas and the Everglades, my favorite national preserve within Florida's boundaries, which is about 4 or 5 hour drive from UCF campus, would be Big Cypress National Preserve. I've had the pleasure to camp there many times, and I recently held a trip through Herpetological Society where we camped there for 2 straight nights. We got to see some beautiful snakes, beautiful alligators. For sure, my favorite place in Florida. Thank you for your question.
Okay, my second question is a scenario-based question. If I'm walking on campus, let's say closer to Arboretum, and I notice that there's a hazardous waste spill, can you take me through the process and what I should do in order to report it?
Absolutely. All reporting of any hazardous waste that specifically impacts the environment would be done through the environmental health and safety. So they're the ones that where if you've ever taken any kind of fire safety class or a lab training, you have taken that class through their programs. They have a number published online that you would look up, and they would have a biohazard team to clean it up. And then any impacted areas, specifically by the Arboretum, would be taken care of by the Arboretum staff or landscaping and natural resources. Let's say plants died in the process of this removal, they would be replanted in the same area or replaced with a native species if they were non-native. Thank you for your question.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we are now in a period of debate. You guys have 5 minutes. Senator Banesh.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be voting in favor of this candidate. They seem very, very, very into what their job is all about sustainability, about environmentalism. I especially love their e-waste initiative. I feel like, you know, there are a lot of students on campus who be using their phones, using laptops, vapes even, and we really need a place to, you know, dispose of those in a safe manner. So I really love that part. I encourage you all to vote in favor as well.
All right, Senator Metellus, and then Peter Lipner.
I'll be voting in favor of this candidate. They seem very qualified and like Senator before me stated, extremely passionate about this role. I really do love their initiatives and how they were extremely knowledgeable about everything related to sustainability. And I encourage you guys to all vote in favor of this candidate.
Senator Lubnick?
Yeah, I just want to echo what everyone else has just said, and if I may, move to vote.
You may. There has been a motion to move to vote. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures. Okay, with a vote count of 41 to 0, Ava Hendricks has been confirmed as our Sustainability, Wellness, and Innovation Coordinator.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Senator Metellus, your hand is still raised. Do you have a question? I guess not. Senator Matthews?
Present and voting.
Senator Matthews, present and voting, so noted at 7:03 p.m. Last but not least, we have Jorge Altuna for Attorney General. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, and I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me all right. Thank you. Speaker Courts, Pro Tempore Hamid, and esteemed student body senators. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your time, your questions, your service, and your commitment to a thorough and thoughtful confirmation process. My name is Jorge Altuna. I am a rising senior majoring in political science, and I stand before you not just as a nominee, but as a gay, Latino, bilingual, first-generation student. Let me begin by stating my philosophy clearly. The Attorney General doesn't campaign, doesn't advocate, doesn't chase headlines. This is not a role for self-expression or a bully pulpit. It's a role meant to uphold the Constitution and the statutes. And if confirmed by your vote, I won't bring an agenda. I will bring discipline. One of the priorities I am most eager to approach, if confirmed, will be to launch accessible training on Florida Statutes Chapter 286, the Sunshine Law, and Titles 11 and 12 of our statutes. This training will be made available for student government agents and will be conducted in partnership with Student Legal Services, the Office of the General Counsel, and Florida Ethics Institute, as well as community legal professionals. Additionally, to effectively accomplish this initiative, I enrolled myself in the Florida Ethics in Open Government course offered by the Florida Ethics Institute. I'll complete the certification within the next 2 weeks, and it is an investment that I made to ensure that I meet the state of Florida's official ethics training requirements and uphold the standards that you expect of me. Public notice, open meetings, and records access. These aren't minor details. They're the backbone of a transparent government. I will make sure that we follow them, teach them, and publish clear, accessible guidelines. Because this office, at its core, is about ensuring students know the rules and that the rules are applied fairly. I know how to interpret statutory language, I know how to write and communicate clearly, and I know how to remove emotion from my institutional responsibilities. However, I also understand that impartiality is more than a simple promise. It must be a pattern, so allow me to explain my record. As student advisor to the School Board of Broward County, I engage in constant discussions with board members and General Counsel Marilyn Batista, consistently gathered feedback from students, and navigated the implementation of school safety and security measures. I never inserted my personal beliefs, and I followed my fiduciary duty. I represented over 250,000 students in the 6th largest school district in the country, and I did so with discretion, neutrality, and care. That same standard will govern every decision I make in this role. As an orientation leader, I guided hundreds of students through Title IX, FERPA, and conduct policies. I served as a mandated reporter, and I stood beside students as they encountered our university system for the first time. That's what the judicial advisor must do. Meet students where they are, provide clarity when the system feels overwhelming, and stand beside them when it matters the most. The ability to support a student, often in the most vulnerable moment, requires deep respect for confidentiality. I have lived that responsibility and I'm prepared to continue carrying it into this office. As a UCF legislative scholar, I also spent the last semester in Tallahassee working for the Orange County Department of Legislative Affairs. This role allowed me to write nonpartisan reports for department heads, the county commissioners, and Mayor Demings. I tracked over 500 bills, analyzed amendments, and evaluated statutory impacts, not through a personal lens, but through the perspective of the county that serves our main campus. I strengthened my ability to show restraint, listen carefully, and remain neutral when the room grows divided. That is what I offer to you, because that is what I will deliver. I will listen, I will learn, and I will lead with intention. I respectfully ask for your trust and your support. It would be an immense honor to be confirmed as your Attorney General and a privilege to serve the Senate and the students that you represent. Thank you, and I now yield the remaining balance of my time and welcome any questions that you may have.
Okay, we are now on period of questioning. About 15 minutes, Senator Rickett,
2 questions, if I may, Madam Speaker.
you may.
Okay, first question to the candidate. Title 11 is the Code of Ethics. Can you name at least 3 rules or laws that are outlined in Title 11?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question, Senator. So, in Title 11, there's actually a breadth of things, but I'd like to focus on a few definitions. You were actually asking about this earlier. Slander is any spoken misrepresentation of an individual, and libel is the written communication version of this. And there's also a multitude of other definitions. Title 11, which is also the Code of Ethics, also goes into the mandatory training necessary to complete and be appointed as an individual, a student government agent. This ethical training is very important, which ensures compliance all throughout statutes and Florida law.
My follow-on question is, can you name how many articles are there in the UCF Constitution?
Yeah, there's 6 articles. Would you like me to name them title by title?
No.
Okay, then Chair Gaudio.
Hello. Oh, wait, hang on, I just noticed my camera's not on. There we go. Hello, hello. So, one of your statutory duties is that through an opinion, you could acknowledge the invalid filing of a censure or an impeachment, which shall only include procedural errors. What constitutes a procedural error with regards to those filings to you?
So, thank you for that question, Senator. I would, for the violations and for any breach of procedure or statute, I would have to refer back to the specific chapter. However, for my general understanding of that statute, it would consider, like you said, a procedural error, which means not following the timelines outlined in statute, not following or having not being germane, as well as so there's certain approvals that notification would have to go through.
Okay, are there any other questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. You guys have 5 minutes. Chair Gaudio?
So, ENA was definitely interesting, but I must say, after all of that, I will be voting in favor of this candidate because going through ENA twice and the reevaluation that he did coming into the second one, he has that can-do attitude. He has that willingness to learn and to grow. He even sat in on an LJR meeting when I just asked, hey, do you want to do this? And you know what? That is an attitude that I really respect. Again, he's put the time in. He's really developing that understanding. And so I encourage you all to vote in favor.
Senator Ganesh?
I'm just gonna follow up on what Chair Gaudio said. Yeah, I'm in favor of this candidate. I believe that they've really taken the time to put in the work and really review the role and the duties of the Attorney General. So I'm excited to see what they got going on, and I encourage y'all to vote in favor as well. With that, move to vote.
Is there a motion to vote? Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedure. Okay, with the vote count of 38 to 1, Jorge Altuna has been confirmed as Attorney General. Okay. We do this again Thursday, but we got through all of that. Senate forum. Seeing none, Senate deliberation. Seeing none, advisors report, Brody. Brody? I guess none. Oh, okay. Great. He said in the chat, he's screaming baby, but great work. Madavi? I don't know if Madavi is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say none for that. Tara Hernandez, do you have something to say?
Motion to adjourn.
There's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Any objections? Seeing none, Chair Fabio.
Righty, Luke Paul,
Present.
Olivia Smith,
Present.
Angelia Warges,
Present.
Gabriel Casimira,
Present.
Samuel Juliqueur, James Kapanos,
Present.
JC Lim,
Present.
Sahasra Sadvika. They are here. Jonah Scott.
Present.
Alrighty. Shivi Jain. Owen Sherman.
Present.
Danae Smith.
Present.
Arwa Ali.
Present.
Melva D.
Present.
Jason Hamid.
Present.
Ryan Kaufman.
Present.
Niklas Lucht.
Present.
Jordan Metellus.
Present.
Kai Prohl.
Present.
Peter Warkasa.
Present.
Samuel Rose. Grace
Present.
Rudy. Oh, okay. Grace Rudy. Daisy Trejo Hernandez.
Present.
Mohammed Kidvai. Nathan Rickett.
Present.
Here. Kushi Chauhan.
Present.
Rose Rodriguez.
Present.
Katrina Wanjan.
Present.
Ella Weiderberg.
Present.
Corson Green.
Present.
Diana Wynn.
Present.
Anthony Bonaventure.
Present.
Veronica Perez.
Present.
Halima Alcura.
Present.
El Banesh.
Here.
Jocelyn Candeloro.
Present.
Kirsten Courts, you're here. Victoria Jones.
Present.
Angelique Leon.
Present.
Abby Matthews.
Present.
Isabella McRae. Cameron Renda.
Present.
Alex Rosenblum. Mariah Simmons.
Present. Sorry.
There you go. All right. Mila Tudorescu.
Present.
Juan Varela.
Present.
Julia Zivin.
Present.
Jordan Lipner.
Present.
42 out of 56.